Listen to all that ambient noise. I've got fans, a choo-choo train, all sorts of stuff. Hey folks, Automatic here for Automatic Games with my monthly installment. This time it's going to be Railroads Online. Just got it, a week ago, maybe a little longer. And yeah, I'm enjoying it, as I do. But yeah, with no further ado, hey, I hope you've been well. I hope this stream finds you well. And even if this stream doesn't find you, I'm still wishing you the best, especially over the Christmas season or Hanukkah or whatever you might be celebrating in your little corner. In our little corner, it's the Xmas, as they an error occurred. Now hold on here. Hold on right here. Maybe nothing's going right. Maybe we're not even. Oh no, we're streaming. Okay, good. Good. It's just Discord giving me some flat. Not this. What is this? I guess I never. No wonder the locomotive drifted to this point. It didn't have any steam, so it was just drifting. All right. I just kind of jumped in, trying to remember what I was doing. Okay, I remember. This is my locomotive number 1, Sheridan, named after the general. Everything that I have going on in this game is 1870s so far. I'm just kind of trying to do it in chronological order in terms of like what locomotives I have unlocked, what locomotives I'm going to be running. So right now it's all 1870s locos, which are not my favorite, and so it begs the question, why are you doing this to yourself? But because in my brain it made sense. I'm very much liking this game. I've been following it since, I first got wind of it. I don't know. I'd say like 8 months ago, 10 months ago. I posted something in my Discord about it, that I had my eyes on it. It was already a PC game. The novelty being that, like, it's very much like other train games, except obviously you can go into first person and you can be like, forget trains, I'm going to go live with savages. Not savages, but that's probably what they would have said back then. And then he would have died. But you can do that, although there are no people out there. It is multiplayer, so yeah, I think you could have like 16 people on the same server. I haven't tried that. I know on PC it works fine. On console, I can only imagine. So I haven't really delved into the multiplayer aspect. Single player, though. Hey, Water Draco, how you doing? He says, there you are, Otto. Yep. My streams are, like a month apart anymore? If that, maybe sometimes longer, I should say. He says, I was going to call 911 and file a missing YouTuber report. Do you have to wait 72 hours before they'll actually investigate that? Or I guess oh, that's kind of cool. So this locomotive, Sheridan, I haven't messed with that much. Oh, what it is now? Look at that. See, it doesn't take much for me. This is my only coal-powered locomotive, unfortunately. No, actually, it's fortunate. Let's get this thing running. Let me think. What am I doing here? I need to find out what contracts are up, so we're kind of going to cheat, go into some kind of building mode, and fly. Why have locomotives when you can just fly? Probably because I can't carry 2,300 or 23,000 pounds of iron ore when I'm flying. So yeah, I had been really anticipating this game, and then when it dropped on console, there was one caveat that, like, there's 3 maps you can play on, but none of the rail systems are implemented. Like, you have to build the rail system, and you have to build it to the different industries that are out there. And I don't know, I didn't exactly expect that. I was a little disappointed by it. But then as the days have passed, we'll go for performance instead of quality. As the days have passed, I've actually quite enjoyed building the industry, because if the industry is in a hard to reach place, you could delete it and put it somewhere else. And all of that's free of charge. And you don't pay for putting down rails. So it's pretty much like open sandbox mode. You know, all the building is free. So you kind of just do that to your heart's content. Like, I made this little, like, front street here. This is a very small town. It's centered around 2 industries, both smelters. And those industries haven't really sprung to life yet. We've gone a little ways to supply them, but in terms of exporting their goods, we really haven't done that yet. So we're looking to do that. I need to see where the iron ore industry stands. It wasn't but a couple days ago I finally got a locomotive strong enough to get up to the iron mine. That's one of the industries that I didn't move. I left it in its hard to reach place, and just kind of, okay, so you're good on rails. Raw iron, not so much, but she's in good shape to export. So that's the contract we'll fill. We'll come here, pick up some rails, and then take it back to the coal mine, which is currently where Sheridan, our coal-powered #1 locomotive, is. He's at the coal mine, and he's empty, and I think he's got the cars required to haul those rails. So that's what we'll do. And it should be fairly lucrative. And I think Sheridan's tough enough to make it here. The grades aren't so bad. Okay, so yeah. The input on this industry is rails and wooden planks. I've been bringing wooden planks. Beams, I'm sorry. He could take another shipment of beams too. So that's what I'll do. For the immediate future, old Sheridan here is going to make at least 1 run, maybe 2, pick up rails and beams, rather. Planks are a thing too, but all right. Now there is like a bit of like urgency, because this is a coal-powered locomotive. It's the only one we have, and even though it's #1, it spent most of its career sitting, because I didn't want to start spending coal when we weren't making coal or extracting coal. So it's really #2, #3, #4. Those locomotives have been busy. This one's been sitting, but finally I'm willing to burn a little coal just to get the coal industry going and make sure that Sheridan here can be self-sufficient. And seeing as it's the 1870s, yeah, Sheridan's named after, I might have mentioned that, General Philip Sheridan. Most of my 1870s locomotives are going to be named after Civil War personalities, or at the very least 1860s personalities. So let's load this up with coal. I don't really need to do a check of cars. Well, hey, albino tailgater. I am well. Thank you for asking. How are you? Hoping you're well. Alright. Let me get this to 100%. Check the gauge. Ooh, that's right. It is raining, so let's undo all that stuff we did. We don't want to catch cold. Make sure the brakes are off on the brake car. Or the caboose. Yeah. Actually, I should have known that because when I loaded in, the train was rolling without any steam. It was just kind of rolling down the whatever it is, a 2% grade maybe. See where we're at. I think we are good to go. I also think this is the last train I did, which went from the smelter to here, so all of my switches should be correct. If not, we'll deal with it as we go. Come on. That tree was close. Hopefully not too close. Then again, I don't have any boxcars. Boxcars seem to be... Alright, what happened there? It is too close. Full disclosure, this is the first time I've run this track, so I don't know what got me there. Whether it was the... Tell you what, I'm not going to re-rail the train, or the plane for that matter. Just restart, check the tracks, and go. Because after all, it saves every 15 minutes. I think I've been sitting there for 20 trying to get the stream together. Automatic coupler's off. Yes, I have it on beginner. And even then, I derail my stuff, even at a slow speed. You have to... Albino says he's doing good. I'm glad to hear it, my friend. Draco says you have to give Otto a minute. He's making sure the activists, aren't messing with his dope. My train. Yeah, that's why we got derailed. That's called industry sabotage right there. All right, let's... I don't know if this did it or if we're just talking about... Oh, that's what did it. These things will get you. There's stones and baby trees that you wouldn't think would derail a train, but... All right, you know what? Let's just check the remainder of the track. At least here. I mean, we're not walking all the way to the smelter running at an uncanny pace. Just to this junction, and then now from there on I should be fine, because after all, Sheridan did come here, so it should be good. Probably have to bring the fire up again. Okay, let's see where we're at on this. Yeah, we do. You enjoyed the coal loading. We got more of that for you. That's why I tune in. Most folks don't rewatch their own streams. I generally don't either, but you better believe I'm going to tune back in for the coal loading. The funny thing is, the gauge here is on 125 or something. So damn bright next to that lamp. Make sure there's no environmentalist out there. Cool thing is, like back in these days, I guess the 1870s, you weren't worried so much about like Eastern environmentalists. I mean, you were worried about the various native tribes, right? Who, in their own sense, some would consider environmentalists. And there was an instance, at least one that I can think of, where they derailed a train and scalped the engineer, and he survived. It's terrible. He didn't look so good. Let's see. sure brake valve is shut yet, or open, or whatever. It had to be that little tree that knocked us off the rails. And yeah, it was. Alright. Headphone check. Two short toots for departure. And I love tooting. Seeing as it's our first time through here, let's slow her down a little bit. No, honestly, that doesn't, I don't think that slows her down. I think applying some brake does that. And this train is weird because there's not a brake lever. Instead, there's a brake valve right here. And it's just really like, it's not in a convenient place, you know? God, let's try to get her. You can make it, Sheridan. Come on. You defeated the Confederates at Five Forks. You can make it. What is that, Cedar Creek? You can do this. No, don't ring the bell. It's not what I want to do. Nope, you're going too fast for this. I mean, there are some areas, some stretches on this network where you can really like stretch your legs, but not here. My track laying skills are, yeah, I've left some room to be desired. Alright. I think we got to do something kind of weird up here. I think we're going to have to stop and back up. Once we're going to get to a cattle farm up ahead. There's a junction, actually a couple junctions there. And I don't think I set them up the way I may have wanted to. Because I feel like I'm going to have to pass the junction, go into reverse to get onto the main line. Flip a switch and then get on, I don't know. Point is, it's going to take a little reverse. It's not my favorite. Although in terms of realism, I think they probably had to do a lot of that when you're talking about branch lines that serviced industries. Now, right here, I could do it. Stop after this switch, back up, get on the main line, and be facing the correct direction. So as to not be going in reverse and pushing, which of course you can do. I feel like these older locomotives weren't necessarily designed for that, but not like the diesel locomotives of the 20th century. Throw in reverse. This is where the multiplayer would come in, right? You'd have somebody in the brake van that would run back there and do the switch. multiplayer for this is something like I'm interested in, but I don't have much faith in because it's a very indie game, and in my experience, indie games on console, uh, the multiplayer can really be hit or miss. For instance, like Astragon publishes this game, they also publish Police Simulator, which has an abysmal multiplayer. Actually, you know what? I might be wrong about that. It might not be abysmal multiplayer, but I mean, I'm trying to think. Is Astragon published Police Simulator, or did they actually develop it? They had to publish it, right? I don't think there's too many publishers dash developers, if any. Yeah, certainly not trying to speed through this. 15%. Put our brake at 10. No brakes. Feed her a little more coal. Yeah, like all of my locomotives have these little quirks. Although I gotta say that maybe the worst one, yeah, I'll get to it later, but one of the worst ones, it's hard to load wood into the burn ribbon. Yeah. Whatever. The furnace. When I say it's hard, I just mean like you'll go to hit that hatch, and things will be moving around, and the reverser and the brake and all that is all right in there. It's not on this train, of course, but there we go, the regulator. Just coast through this. Yep. Oh, you know what I didn't do? I forgot that I reloaded. Oh, the day cycle is on. Okay. Okay, cool. Flip that switch. I also want to check on one switch on the other side. Yeah, it's good. All right, we should be good to make it all the way to the smelter then. So with Sheridan here, the biggest quirk is that the brakes. That really, when I'm applying brakes, I'm applying them on the tender. And I don't know if in reality, physics-wise, I don't know if that would be good. I think it would put a lot of stress on the coupler, but I don't know. I guess the couplers are designed to take stress, aren't they? We'll run at a quarter until we get on a good straightaway. Actually, even the turns on the main line aren't too bad. Yeah, I understand. Now you don't have to play it in first person. You could play it like that. I prefer first person, however, just because to me that's the novelty of this game. So if I wanted to play third person, there's scores of other railroading games you could play. So I guess the key with old Sheridan here, our number one, is to just not burn so much coal until we can get that industry going. And if it ends up burning most of its coal, I don't know. Then I guess we got to get one of the other locomotives involved, which I really don't want to do because they've got their prerogatives, you know. They're already running trains, like one in agriculture, one in iron mine industry. Seems to be wobbling. It's fine, and that's top speed. Of course, in reality, in the 1870s, locomotives didn't have speedometers. We better shoot ahead and make sure this switch is closed. Actually, no, we could go that way. Yeah, we do want to go that way. No, we don't. That's too damn close. And I think I made the right call there. What am I doing? Am I taking more beans? No, I'm taking rails. Oh, shucks. Okay. Figure this out eventually. Yeah, I screwed up. We were supposed to take that turn. And that should have been obvious to me, considering this was the last one. That's alright. Keep that shut. In fact, I'm going to derail it if we take this corner too hard. Okay. Let's take a look. Yeah, I gotta reverse back to that first switch. I should have known. I mean, because it was the same route that this train did last time, and so the switches should have been set for that. Yeah, okay. And this is to pick up rails and take them to the coal mine. Okay. We'll round it back at a quarters. I don't remember the horn for the whistle for. I don't remember the whistle for backing up. There is one. I do know it's small. 2 shorts for here we go. You know, for leaving. It's 2 short pulls. If you're stopping, it's 1 short peak. If you're heading towards a crossing or like a civilized area or whatever, it's, what is it? 2 longs, 1 short, 1 long. Which is, honestly, if you have tracks near you or whatever, that's the one you're going to hear all the time. 2 longs, 1 short, 1 long. This whole thing. Probably the most common one folks here, unless they're actually working on the railroad. That'd be different, but 13 is mine. Why are we rolling backwards? I guess we're just on a slope or something. It's weird, the sander's different too. The sander on every locomotive I have is like, you pull back to start dropping sand under your wheels, your tires. Yeah, I know. But this one you press forward and it releases the sand. So you run into little like idiosyncrasies like that. Did I not flip the switch? I'll get it one of these days. Sure I'm fired already. But speaking of fire, I should probably. Man, and I'm just like so used to the brake lever doing that. Okay. Alright. That is the switch. About to have to start putting Sheridan here on a timetable. Because it is it's almost nightfall and he still hasn't picked up his load. I don't think unions are a thing yet. Hey Zero! It says, hello Otto, long time no see. Long time no see. This is my monthly stream, I guess. Good to see you, Zero. How are you? No, we won't. Let's do 20% and one with a little bit of brake. Our lantern out. Nope, it's not a lantern. Here says, getting better, sorry to hear that. About hikes for Christmas, going to be traveling up to see my daughter. That's great. Glad to hear it, man. I am well. Yeah, ready for Christmas. A few like last minute decorations to put up, but otherwise ready for it. And just doing the whole Polar Express in the meantime. Hey Hawk, how are you, man? Good to see you. We bring this to a stop up here. I'm trying to think. I think rails is, yeah, right here. All right. Again, I keep wanting to run there for the brakes. And they're there, but it's just so much easier to use the brakes on the tender on this weird locomotive. Good enough for now. Hawk says, what idiot gave you a train to run? Have they not seen what you did to pirate ships? Well, I mean, I think these trains are on rails, right? I'm not going to hit an island. But I did. I tell you, I already derailed the train once. Going at like 10 miles per hour, somehow I managed to do it. It's really because I laid track and forgot to trim the trees along the track. Alright, here's the aspect of this game that drives me nuts. The loading. Like, I don't know. Everything has to be lined up, of course, but it just takes a while. This is rails, right? We are moving rails. It's just smelter. Oh. Yes. Good. Oh, hell. Oh, that's raw iron, so we don't even want that. We are not contracted to move that. So truly, I'm going to have to reverse here. Hey, buddy. Who is... Oh, okay, that's just... You're just part of this thing. For a second, I'm like, hold on. But I don't think... Like, I think I specifically hit single player, so there shouldn't be other random people around. That dude's just watching. Besides, I don't think there's a sitting animation. Zero says, Otto, did you ever pull a me and not hit the island, jump it, and then land? Wait, hold on. Let me comprehend this. Did you ever pull me and not hit the island, but jump it, then land on it, where there's... Oh, yes, I have. Yeah. Not commonly, of course. That has happened. But the ship just kind of ended up inland, and there was no... Unlike the rowboats, there's no pushing the ship back. Yeah, and it can't sink then, either, so it's like... I guess I have the brakes on. I really got to get used to this locomotive. Speaking of which, I guess I told you it's my #1 loco, and it's called Sheridan after the Civil War general, but it's a Baldwin class 11D1, and Baldwin made a hell of a lot of locomotives. You know, one of the biggest manufacturers back in the early days. I want to say they were out of Pittsburgh. No, maybe not Pittsburgh, but certainly Pennsylvania. They're out of Pennsylvania. This is long before they started making soccer balls. Not a different company, I think. Not just hit. Yep, exactly. Your only option is to drop the server and restart at that point. Yeah, that is one of the oddities about the Sea of Thieves physics. I haven't played Sea of Thieves for a minute. I think the last time I played it was with on one of the Wednesday streams with Rob and Co. Me, I've been playing Skull and Bones instead. No, I joke. I joke. Never touched that. See, I keep going for the break, and it cost me a few seconds. Which, when I say I keep going for the brake, again, like usually there's a brake lever here, not on this. On this, it's a brake valve, and I can't be bothered to climb into that corner and return it. That's asking a lot, especially for something as fundamental as brakes. You know, like you see something on the track and you need to stop. Well, then you just get down on all four and climb back down there. Like that just doesn't seem logical. If I'm smart, spoiler alert, I'm going to be able to load those last two cars at the same time. Okay. So we got to move up 2 car lines. Let's see if we can eyeball that. That'd be about 1. This is going to be about 2. Oh, I think we did it. I think we did it. Cool. Alright, so we'll be loaded by sunrise anyways, and my hope is we get this up there ASAP, and then the thing starts producing coal, because we already took beams up. All it needs is beams and rails. This is our rail shipment. Then it will start producing coal for us. And I will have gotten the coal industry going. This is my only coal-fired locomotive, and it is the #1, meaning it was the first one I had. But like I said at the top of the stream, it is pretty much sat while the wood burners have done all the work, just because I didn't want to spend the coal. I couldn't, you know. But now I'm thinking like, oh, now that the coal mine's ready to take inventory, we'll go ahead and use this. Alright. Well, good deal. At this point, it's nighttime. Our engineer is beat. I'm going to grab a quick smoke. Not quick smoke, although I am tempted to grab them every now and then. Grab them in a bear hug. Yeah, I'll be right back. There's only 15-minute night. Like I said, so nighttime is only 15 minutes. But anyway, I'll be back in less than a minute. Daylight yet? It's not morning yet. Excuse me. I don't know what the point of that is, but warm up the coffee, I guess, is what we're doing. About 5 a.m. I think we can get this up to the mine by noon. Right, it'll be better, honestly. Okay, I need to figure out where. Let's go to flying mode and get rid of our lamp. We can't really see that well, though. What we want to do is loop around. God, we want to turn this train around, but I don't know where exactly we could do that. If we reverse out, I got it. We'll run in reverse for a little bit. At least till we get to the ranch. That's a fair place to turn around. I'll just throw in reverse and get in the brake car. Change those lights to green or whatever. I don't know how they do that. But I know red is supposed to be the back of the train, right? All right. Run, little engineer, run. Oh, yeah, just amber lights, right? Or would it be green? I don't know. So they give you the option red, green, or amber. I feel like the locomotive has amber lights on it, so from a distance, it'll look like two trains at you side by side. Damn. Let's drop that to 15%. Mr. Raging Badger. How the heck are you, man? Good to see you. Badger says, nice to see you're doing well. I hope you are, man. If you're still out there, let me know how you're doing. Glad to see you, man. So Zero asks, not that I'm an expert, so I always wondered, how did the caboose notify the engineer that the truck lights? I mean, you could do flags, and I don't know if they did, but you certainly could. But I think it was lights. And some of the later cabooses that were, because we got to understand the conductor was typically in the caboose back in these days. And so, in other words, that's like essentially saying the guy who's in charge of the train is, you need to slow down. After this curve will be fine, but I just felt like we were going way too fast there. However, yeah, what I was getting at was like not this period in history, not in the 1870s. But later on, the caboose would have a brake lever by the conductor's desk where he could stop the train. So if because obviously, I mean, they're looking back, they're looking forward. If they see a problem with any of the cars, it stands to reason the engineer might not notice. I mean, he might feel it if it's substantial enough, but if it's a fire or something, he's not going to notice. But that begs the question, how does the engineer see the lights in the caboose? So, I'm almost tempted to say that No, you'd have a conductor, a fireman, or I guess a brakeman would run up. They would have to. They'd run up the train. That had to be dangerous as hell. I do know that the engineer would talk to them through the whistle. There were different codes. I don't know them. I only know like 3 of the codes, I think. But he could use those to tell them something. Yeah, that's a good question, though. Oh, and you just asked. I didn't read your next thing. Like, yeah, you already presumed, and I believe correctly that they would use lights. But of course, again, that would take the engineer turning around. I say that, but the fireman is going to be turning around half the time. You know, the fireman's going to be looking back here to get coal or whatever, and I wouldn't be surprised if part of his job was to look at the caboose every now and then. Well, one thing I found in this game is I have lost cars and not known it. Sometimes I think, in retrospect, I should have known it because the train will pick up speed or something like that. But I was staying away from cabooses. I wasn't really using brake cars. Then I realized, oh hell, you know, if I'm going at night, all I got to do is look back here, and you can't really tell now, especially since they're amber. Speaking of which, let's change them to red. Get rid of our lantern. It's real handy to look back and see those 2 red lights and just know that, like, okay, clearly nothing between me and the caboose is missing. Only reason I tried to stay away from the cabooses was, you know, sometimes I'd like to, when you don't have a turnaround, you might be able to detach the locomotive, run it to the back, turn the locomotive around, if that makes any sense. Like, you might have a turntable. Turntable's not going to turn an entire train around, but we'll turn the loco around and run them to the back. And then I'm like, now I've got a new problem. The caboose is useless. It's at the front of the train now, you know. Now I guess what you could do is detach the caboose, push it with the engine back to the turntable, spin the caboose around. You know what I mean? But boy, that's a lot. Okay, so now we flip this switch and we should be good for the rest of the journey. Another weird thing about Sheridan here is most of these say their name on the side. His just says his number. Gotta be different. Everybody's gotta be unique, right? It's overrated. Everyone should just get in line and conform. Throw some more coal in there. Yeah, truly, this has just been a chill game. Which seems to be, I'm learning, the games that I really enjoy. I can just chill out. And I can, honestly, if I set it at the right speed, set the brake at the right amount, I can get up and walk away and let the train go, come back in a few minutes, I'll be closer. Got to be there to stop it. I mean, not always. Sometimes it stops itself, unfortunately. But man, that's too fast. That's around 15%. That's a weird thing. This is the number 1 train, one of the oldest, from 1871, which I've only got 2. But maybe it's the coal. I think the coal just makes this thing more of a beast. That's my ignorant appraisal of the situation. Just living life, Badger says. Sorry I'm so late on that. We should hit the seas one day. I'd be down. See if these ain't my go-to anymore, but you know, I think I have played a couple times in the last few months. Played with Casper. How you doing? Yeah, Casper, didn't we play? Or what did we play? Yeah, we played with Seas. Also played with Rob and Co. Also played with. We ran a brig prior to that with Zool and Odd Noble and myself. And on that outing, we sunk 8 player ships, and I thought, okay, shoot, no, we gotta flip this. I'm about to derail it. Oh, that's lucky. I thought I didn't have to flip anything. I was told that I didn't have to flip it. I don't think we need brakes for this. And let's... The thing is, I know we're going to be going up there. The grade's not terrible. But up there. Badger says, I've been trying to work on improving my art skills, trying to make a comic book. Oh, hell yeah. I went to school for illustration. Went to college for illustration. Didn't graduate. I went 2 semesters. Not 2 semesters, 2 years. More than 2 semesters. I ain't doing anything with it here, unfortunately. So yeah, I think that would be fun. That'd be cool. A way to an outlet from the creative juices I do. You got a story in mind, whatever. Pretty good one. Recently, I got a book, and I was looking forward to this book. But upon getting it, I realized it was a graphic novel. And I was fucking delighted. I didn't think it was going to be, but I was like, oh, hell yeah. We'll open the regulator. 4%. Getting a little bit of a grade here. Then Casper chimes in with the ahoy there, everyone. Ahoy, Casper. Hope you're well. Welcome aboard. We're 87% and no brakes. That's too much. It just felt like she was struggling on that air though. The way the loco jumps and stuff, that bugged me so much at first. Because that almost seems glitchy. Quarter. Apply some friggin' brakes. What are we heading down the hill now? See, I still don't have it down. I'm constantly switching the regulator and the brake. From what I hear, and I've been watching a lot of train videos, you know. From what I hear, like, you're really not supposed to run both in conjunction like that. You're not supposed to accelerate and brake. But then at least I think that's true. I swear I heard that in a video recently. Is the rail platform? Oh yeah. think I overshot it by 1 car. Still, not bad for my piss poor skills. Now that's the other thing in multiplayer, watching people play this multiplayer, like you've got somebody that just stays in the locomotive while the other guy or guys are like, okay, move forward, stop. Obviously that's easier, but as in my case, as I've played, I'm getting a little better, which I've not evidenced by my overshoot there. But I swear, you gotta believe me. Oh, you know what? Holy crap. Hold on, I gotta pay attention on this one. Let's back up and sell what's in this car. I do believe we're making a hell of a lot of money off of this run. Is it noon? Did I get here before noon? I sure did. It's 10. Hell yeah. How do you like your supplies early? Keep thinking that's the brake. I would guess as you get up to, like, once I start getting into the 1880s locomotives and whatnot, I would guess things start becoming more standardized. I would hope. Dude, I didn't pay attention at all to how much. Nonetheless, I can tell already because it was like 1,300. And I guess they are good, like, I'm picking up these rails from a place where I've already delivered coal and raw iron ore, so it is like it's a manufactured product, not just a raw product. So that's probably why this is a lucrative run. But I'm doing this run out of necessity to get coal, rather. I didn't know along the way I'd probably be able to afford a new locomotive or some rolling stock. I guess I do need more cars. But that's cool. And there's only I think there's only 3 more 1870s locomotives. And again, the game's not making me do that. I just wanted to do it. It's my way of being able to experience, like, each locomotive. Because I feel like if I had an engine from like 1910, I wouldn't even be messing with this, Like, so I would have no understanding of what some of the early Baldwins were like. Like, why would you if you could have like a 20th century locomotive? Price, maybe. Probably. That would be why. Okay. Zero says, naturally, because if you are braking and accelerating, you're putting massive amounts of stress on the parts in the locomotive. Very true. Yeah. Yeah, probably not a wise mix. Marty, how are you? Good to see you. Welcome to it. It says, good and happy Sunday, Otto and Chad. Happy Sunday to you. Good to see you, man. Long hauler, how you doing? Doing well. He asks, how is it today? Now, welcome to Marty and Long Hauler. I'm staring at my monitor trying to decide what to play. I feel that. That's certainly a thing, isn't it? I go between that and just being so obsessive about a game that it's a lot of money. You know, it's either one or the other, I guess is what I'm saying. Nothing in between. That job alone paid enough that I could probably afford a locomotive. So let's for now at least like do some window shopping. I don't have a hand car. I did think like if I do decide to delve into the multiplayer servers and stuff, like having hand car races and whatnot, or just races in general, would be fun. I have one of those. That's not 1870s. This one I still need. I'm looking. This is probably the last of 1870s trains that I'd get. Engines that I'd get, rather. And I feel like I would use it. Like, I don't know what I'd use it for until I put it into practice and realize it can't do something. But just looking at it and how fancy you can make it look, I'd almost want it to be an express passenger train. Maybe give it a emerald paint scheme, and emerald passenger cars, and emerald caboose. I think that's an option on this one. And this seems like nothing changed there. There, that like gold and emerald. Oh, so like a leprechaun it is. But then, you know, what if it sucks? You know, you need an express train to be fast, and I do have a dedicated track for the express that have less switches. Sometimes I'll use my freight on it because I don't have any express trains yet. So hey, the 10 mile, I can't quite afford it yet, but almost can with that. I have that. This is another one that I need, and this one would be a real workhorse, the Glenbrook. So this one would be, as Sir Topham Hatt would say, a very useful engine indeed. And with one more run, I could afford it. Probably with one more run, I could afford any of these. Got that. And this one I want too, right? Yeah. 1877, so we're still talking 1870s. But this one is the first shunting or switching locomotive, if that doesn't make sense to you. Kind of like well, one, you can tell it doesn't have a tender, so it keeps its fuel on board like that, you know. And you would use it to, at a yard or whatever, to set up your trains. That is to say, like, you know how I mentioned earlier, like detaching a caboose and moving it to get it to the other side. You would use an engine like this for stuff like that, I think. I mean, you could use it for whatever you want to use it for, but I would use it for corn. But you could also use it for shunting, which is essentially just moving cars around to build a train that a long haul locomotive would come in and pick up and take. So this also, between this and the Glenbrook, would be, like I said, very useful engines indeed. And I think if I do that, I'd have all the 1870s engines. So there's three of them. There's the 10 mile, which I want to use for express. There's the little tank engine that I want to use for shunting. And then there's the Glenbrook, which I can use for anything. I think it's the strongest of the ones that I've yet to buy. So we are good to go back. And I am either, let's see, he's almost maxed out on rails, so we don't want, he's basically not in the market for rails. Beams, however, we could make a beams run. I could also supply the smelter using a different train. I think I'll go pick up beams. Yeah, that's what I'll do. And I'll pretty much only take my break at nighttime. Too tough for me. But I want to take one now. Just hit the jackpot with the beams, or I'm sorry, tracks, or whatever those were, rails. That's their bread and butter, I think. No window shopping for me. It's kind of like it's relatable. Struggling up this hill. Let's bring it up to 70%. Could activate the sander. I don't need to though. And you do have to refill on sand. That's part of the reason I'm just like not gonna do it. But yeah. In fact, you have to fill up on water, sand, whatever your fuel is. In our case, Sheridan, it's coal, obviously. I'm just getting used to this locomotive, even though it is number one. It's the first one I bought. It's kind of like I bought it and realized, like, oh, I can't fuel this thing. I don't have access to coal. So what it's got in its tender is all it's got. I wish I had known that previous. Then I was quick to, of course, buy a wood burner. We got wood. Looking for the brake plug, always. I do think I'll have to flip a switch up here at the ranch. Just because I did something kind of... Oh, that's right. No, we're gonna back out. Yeah, at this next switch, we've got some movement. What I'd be curious about is like somebody familiar with railroad steam locomotives and stuff. Like the way I'm using the brake on the tender, I wonder if somebody would shake their head and be like, "No, you do not do that. You use the brake now." Right here, we're kind of going to do a switch back. Just coming back here to know that we passed the signal and I'll just use this brake, I guess, right? It's a brake van after all. It's not enough to stop the train. Oh, damn. Or it is, just not very efficient. You know why? I'm going to tell you. The brake vans are alright because that one's not the heaviest of them, but it's the weight, you know. And the weight and the tender with all that coal, its brakes are more effective. That makes sense, doesn't it? It's a matter of like you're braking with a heavier car, so yeah, you get it. You get it. Let's flip the switch. Actually, we're gonna hope that the brake cart can hold it, since I've got so little on the regulator. I think. Yeah. Okay. Good. So it just didn't seem too effective when we were moving at a decent clip. In fact, we can start letting it move. I'll get to the switch before it does. That's that. Kind of partial to the little 062. You know, the smaller new engine. Let me check. Let me check. I'm going to stop again after this. I mean, kind of check now. I just 16. Hold on, gotta stop the train. What am I doing? Why walk when you can ride? Oh, the smaller new engine, like the little tank engine, the little shunter. I like it. I mean, it looks like it has muscle. So it's the kind of thing where I put it in. I built a train. I'd probably put it there to do exactly what it's supposed to do, like switch out train cars before I get one of my long haulers going. But I think it's got some muscle. So I think it could easily handle like short jobs pulling a train. I get the sense, having not used it yet, that it's an impressive. It's an impressive build. 15%. We'll get to the switch before it does. And then I got to check the switches at the far end of the ranch, just to make sure they're set correctly. They're not. Okay. We just wait here for it. Oh, you can't hear the sound from the game when you go shopping, huh? Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, so it's not this one. 14,000. Which one? Is it an 1870s one, or is it... I'm going way too low, aren't I? Yeah. Let me check. I ain't got time. These little guys, the cook. Kind of nice. Oh, the Heisler? Or no, no. The wheel configuration's not. Oh! On board. No, don't do that. Okay. I'm an idiot. weird I could hear the game. They do have a new one. The flying engineer bit is the one that you're right. But I mean, when you're flipping those switches, you almost got to. Alrighty, albino. Good luck. Hope you catch your beat. Thanks for stopping by, man. I appreciate that. Oh, and Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, all that good stuff. If you celebrate it, even if you don't celebrate it, I hope all of it is good. I'm still looking. Oh, wait. No. Now there are some, like, more locos that aren't it's consolidation. Oh, 260. These guys, is that what? No. Like I said. For a second, I couldn't see the brake man. It's like, oh no. But we're good. However, I'm trying to remember, I was coming back to Blues on Royals. I don't know like that. Actually, no, I'm good for Blues. Great through this turn, although we are not stopping here. Just passing through it. It's square looking. Is it the ruby? Not this one. That's not what you mean, is it? Wait, that's a 2.6. Yeah. Okay, that's a 2.60. That is the one, isn't it? The ruby basin. Yeah, that's nice. I won't get it for a while since I'm going in like chronological order. If that's the one, let me know if that's the one you know. But that does, yeah. That one looks quite nice. And kind of a tank engine too. Or at the very least, it doesn't have a tender, does it? No, not a separate tender. Oh, it's got the rear light too. I like that. Like I said, I mean, I usually take a break at night in this game if I'm leaving a day cycle on. Just because it gets so damn dark. I don't mind loading a train or unloading. Nope, that's not it. Of course not. Yeah. Let's see where I want to stop up here. First, that's a plank. Is that planks or beams? That's beams. Okay. So yeah, stop. Not bad. Close enough. It's not the ruby. God, but the stats matched, man. Not quite, because it wasn't quite 13.6. This? I don't know. You said, square looking. That's the only reason. Damn, 17,000 attractive effort. That one's patriotic. What's on you? Oh, right on. Oh, heck yeah. All right, cool. So you have this, eh? For PC. That said, if that's the case, I know that consoles an update behind. I know we're missing, like, they've got that beast of a locomotive that just came out. We don't have it yet. So, we're supposed to get it early, I think January. So in about a month. Yes, I am console. This is the console build of it. Nonetheless, I enjoy it. I haven't messed with the multiplayer. I'm kind of worried about how that would come in terms of game stability and stuff. Especially since physics is a heavy component, right? You know? Alright, yeah, this is the new big engine's little brother. Okay. So is it like... Is it close to 1900 or something like that? Like, in terms of year of manufacture or something? Oh, no worries, man. In fact, when you said the name, I kind of wondered. I was like, Unita, isn't that new monster engine or whatever? It's like yes and no. Like you're talking about the smaller. It's in. I guess my question is like, it can be expected in the same update as that giant articulated train engine locomotive, rather. These are planks. What the hell? Okay. I'm a moron. I've been picking up the wrong damn thing. I can't even sell those at the... Can I just unload these? Is that possible? The poor people at the sawmill were like, hey, what are you doing, dude? Yeah, this is crap. This is crap. Try again. Sharpen your blades. Okay, so you can just drop. I can drop my load at the first sign of an Imperial Star Destroyer. That's good, because I've seen like 3 of them. Telling me to drop my shields and whatnot. I'm like, dude, can't drop the shields on a freight train. You just can't. For the 3rd time, anyone? Okay, let me catch up. What's the name of this game? It's Railroads Online. Says, yep, they're releasing them together. Okay, cool. So, it'll be about a month. By the way, it's very hard to hear you over the noises are so loud they mostly drown you out. Thank you for that, cuz. Better? Worse? I mean, I'm louder. Am I too loud now? Am I drowning out the game? Appreciate that, Zero. 1905, okay. Hey, name. Welcome aboard. Weighs in at 68,670. What game is this for the 3rd time, anyone? It's coal-fired. Costs 5,100. Alright, not bad. Can still hear the game and you more clear now. Sweet. Again, thank you for the heads up. Josh Roberts, hi, how are you? Welcome to it. Oh, it's nighttime. I know I haven't loaded up yet, but it looks like we're going to load in the morning. No, I'll still load at night, but as announced, and apologies if you just jumped in, when it's nighttime, I'm going to take a little siesta. I'm going to step away for a second. Everything blacked out there. There we go. Alright. Glad to hear it, Josh. Alright, I will be back in a minute and a half, something like that. If in the meantime you gotta go, please be well and thanks for stopping by in the first place. Otherwise, I will talk to you again in mere moments. Alright. Well, it's certainly not morning yet, however. We can go ahead and load. Not loading those. Already made that mistake. Josh asked, what is a cow's favorite city? I don't know. What is a cow's favorite city? New York. What's a pig's favorite city? Newport. Nah, that doesn't work as well. Pigs wouldn't like that. That would be like their least favorite city, probably. The city where they go to die. Oops. Kind of like my streams. That's where fun goes to die. No. They're not that bad. Come on. That was way too far. See? New York City. This is the only train so far that does that for me too. That do. We're just guessing. And spin the wheel. Too far? Not far enough. Yeah, the other thing about the console version of this game is you cannot name your own things. They give you a list of names to choose from. So not like you can't name the engines whatever you want, and I hate that. I know that's Xbox and PlayStation getting their grubby hands into it. Well, we wouldn't want anybody to put anything offensive, now would we? Yeah, well, I got bad news for them. The country has an appetite for offensive shit. It's just, and we always have, and we always will. Not to say that I would put, that not everything, but anything would be offensive in terms of what I would name the trains, but I'd probably laugh if I saw them. Hold up, we want to go forward, don't we? Nope, this will work. And what does a dolphin say when he's confused? Yeah, I don't know. What does a confused dolphin say these days? What are we doing? We need lights. Alright, we're good to go. Do I want to back up the whole way to the ranch? Is that the plan? I think it is. Can you be more Pacific? Ah, dolphin humor. You gotta have a train joke, don't you? Not that the other ones aren't quality, but... Now he's like, you're putting me on the spot, a train joke. You're the one streaming a train game. You should have looked up the train joke. Which would be valid. Alright, well yeah, I guess we are reversing until we get to the ranch. Yeah, okay. Not at 51%. Let's run at a quarter. I hate doing this at night, though. Come on. I don't want to fly. I don't want to break immersion until my laziness demands it. Which would be with switches. I guess part of it is at night, like, I can't even tell how fast we're really going. I mean, not that these things had speedometers anyways. But I suppose I could do that. No, that's just scary. Honestly, you could do it all with audio cues, I suppose. You can hear when you're going fast, too fast, or whatever. I'll think. You can Google if necessary. I mean, you know, it doesn't have to be original content. That's okay. Everything these days is barred. Boy, we're really slowing down. Although I didn't think there were too many grades here in my swamp. So, like, yeah, you can see, like, it still lets you number them and name them, but you have to choose, like, flat car was an option. I could have named these box cars, and maybe I should have, just to throw a wrench in the whole system. Say they didn't have a speedometer, but there's a speedometer right there. I hardly ever use this camera mode though. Yeah, in fact, I'm not as good as not as good. Like, I'm good in the first place in any aspect of this game, but I find it harder to find, like, to mess with the regulator here. It's harder to be as precise. Nonetheless, let's kick it up to like 70% now that we're on a straightaway. Huh. I'd be dead. What do you call a sneezing train? Sneezing train. I don't know. What would one call that? A choo-choo train, of course. Damn it. Now that one. A choo, right, because a choo. That's what it is, Otto. Man. I really feel bad about that one. I should have guessed that. That's solid train humor, though. What's solid train music? What is that exactly? The first thing that comes to mind is, well, it isn't like, or like half of Johnny Cash's songs about trains. Good morning, America. What's that song? What is that? What is that song? I'm the train to call, the spirit of New Orleans. That's it, spirit of New Orleans. And I'll be gone 500 miles when the day is gone. That's a good one. The Grateful Dead, Casey Jones. Driving that train high on cocaine. Casey Jones, you better watch your speed. That's another choo-choo train song. Is that the right one? It's the problem with having two switches side by side like that. I forget which controls which. Get rid of that. Throw a little more coal in there. It's a long day, Alhoon. Have you been doing it all the live long day? How are you, Alhoon? Good to see you, man. It says, choo-choo, Otto, hey all in chat. I've been working on the railroad. Are you using the Montezuma? No, I don't know. This is the Baldwin 11D1. I call it Sheridan. I do have, what is my Montezuma? My Montezuma is called the Breckenridge, named after the former United States Vice President and Confederate General. So yeah, I have a Monty, the Breckenridge. I want to say it's handling agricultural stuff, like grain, and no, it's not. It's my water train. Because it couldn't pull the ag train. I had to get another loco in there for that. So it got downgraded to just hauling water. I've been seriously considering moving it to like the other side of the map, several miles away, like to the lumber yard. But I almost wonder if it can handle that. I like it. Don't get me wrong, and it did serve its purpose for a while. For a little bit, I did have it moving the agricultural train, which was it was like water, hay bales, and grain. It was probably a 6 or 7 car train, and it did it, but it ran into so many problems. It was like, it's kind of that idea that, like, if you run one of these things close to the limit, not over the limit, but close to it, you're going to create more problems for yourself than not. You are going to get stuck in valleys and stuff, is what I've learned anyways. So even though it could handle it, it was kind of one of those just barely things. I considered making it a shunting train, but it's got a tender, and I don't know. So yeah. Oh shoot! Did I flip that? Just in time. On the roof. It's kind of crazy. I can just go through. Now I like it in terms of looking out the windows. It's weird when you do that. It's just weird. You're gonna need more muscle going through here. I guess I could turn off the light. What? Why am I going through the roof? Oh. You know, maybe later today I'll off stream. I'll try the multiplayer. This is a little trepidation that it's just going to be a party of my friends, but a clusterfuck. But yeah, I did get the, like, this was the first train I got, then I got the Montezuma. To pick up the slack for this because, like, I didn't have the coal, you know? So I was like, oh, I need a wood-fired engine, and Montezuma is affordable. And then I was just struggling. So it was like everything was on the shoulders of the Monty. Like, I was relying, so, like, I don't want to sound like I'm not an appreciator of that little train. I am, because it had to do everything alone for a while. Overshot it, but that's alright. We can still start unloading here. I think. Unless we overshot the first dock. No. Alright, let's keep track this time. Not nearly as lucrative. I have not sold coal yet. I guess I probably won't sell it, will I? I don't know what happens. Like, do they compensate you for loading up the coal towers that you would use for your own fuel? It'd be sweet if they did, but I kind of would understand if they didn't. You know, the logic that, like, well, you're using this, like, you're the one storing. Like, no, you're not selling it. Actually, we potentially, I can do this, can't I? It's probably against OSHA recommendations, but I can try unloading on the move, if that's possible. Yeah, it's possible. I think I just discovered a new lifestyle. Yes, sir. It's getting harder. It's getting fast. Okay, wait. Alright. Let's move it forward slowly and repeat the process, and I think we'll be done with it. But yeah, everything's sold there. What happens when you eat too many bell peppers? You get a belly ache. Oh. Luckily for you, OSHA did not exist back then. That's right. What was it? I was watching some railway documentary, and yeah, clearly OSHA didn't exist. And the unions were, you know, barely anything at that time. In the 1870s, anyways. I don't know if Eugene Debs was around then, but anyhow, they were saying in terms of like brakemen and stuff, if you were hiring a brakeman and he had all his fingers, then he was clearly a novice, and you should consider whether or not you're going to hire him. If he was missing a couple fingers, or no, if he was missing a finger, then he still had some things to learn or something like that. It got to the point where it's like, and if he's missing most of the fingers on his hand, he's a very, very knowledgeable brakeman that you can't hire to be a brakeman, but you should still probably hire to tell other people how to do the job. Because, like, you know, I guess the idea being they'd roll. I should probably talk about that when we actually do it. But, you know, when it comes to hitching up cars, the couplers, it's like you're backing a train into the car. Like, you got to get in there and drop that pin quickly. Pretty well, you're going to lose those fingers or an arm or just get crushed between the cars. But pretty nasty stuff to think about. What do we want to do? Back up just a notch. I did not hear about the Angry Pancake. I don't follow the news as much as I used to. Tell me about the Angry Pancake, though. If you would. That's good enough, isn't it? Yeah. And one more car. He just flipped. Ladies and gentlemen, the comedy stylings of Mr. Josh Robbins. No, we're going too fast. We're going to overshoot. We are going to overshoot. We overshot, right? Is this close enough? Yes. Good. Actually, before I do that, what is my goal next? Is it to sell? Okay, so these guys don't really need rails. Yeah, they do need more beams. Man, okay, so they go through a lot more beams than they do rail. I am reluctant to do another beam delivery. I'd love to pick up coal. How much do we have? 360. Hell yeah. Okay. Alright, so in other words, we're done with the Sheridan for a little bit. I need to park this thing, which means we're going to change course now. We're not running the same route. We're going to fly. Let's see, we come up to this junction, and I think we would like to keep to the right this time. That switch needs nothing. That switch is set correctly. This is the yard. I guess I haven't showed this yet. It's the yard I built. Obviously looked up some stuff to see what was right. And so, as such, we've got the main lines here. I run most of my trains on this line. It's designated for freight. This is what I call the inside track. It's designated for express, so it only hits the towns that I built. Whereas if you're running on this line, like, you're going to be stopped a lot more because of switches, which is what we've been doing. This has very few switches. Here you have the yard lead, right? There's another one on the other side. Long enough that, like, a moderate train could occupy that whole space if they had to. This little area here is for cabooses. Either this track or the one next to those sheds. And then I've got my, like, just where I'm going to keep cars. It's going to be like track 1, track 2, track 3. So I've got 3 open tracks just to store trains. And of course storing locomotives in the sheds, even though I don't think I have anything in there yet. Or right now, rather. So we can afford to park one more train there for now, which is what we're going to do with this one. So he'll be coming down this track. And this should be switched, so he makes a left. Oh, speaking of Montezuma, here he is. The Breckenridge. The only one of my engines named after a Confederate thus far. And not a Confederate that I think the South is very proud of. Not that they should be proud of much of what they did back then, but whatever. Breckenridge A&A. He was the Vice President of the United States and a Confederate general. I always think it's interesting because I'm like, well, you totally swore an oath and broke it, didn't you? I mean, most of y'all did, but you kind of especially, huh? So these switches will correct when we... Okay, got it. Yeah, he's got 3 water cars, which even that gets a little heavy. Where's the train? Oh, it's still all the way back. Okay. Now we got Superman back aboard. Zero says, I guess Josh must be a dad because them some corny dad jokes. I'm actually 9. Oh man, 9. Making me rethink everything I've said in this stream, man. You're a year older than my son. That's alright. I don't think I've said anything too terrible, but nonetheless, Josh, welcome aboard. It's generally my streams are for ages 13 and older because I do tend to say some things, but I'll mind my P's and Q's on my dad's account. That's how you got to do it. It's like my son's 8, and he would love to stream, but we're not sure how to go about that. And plus, he's like, yeah, but there won't be any comments. Like nobody can really interact. And yeah, that stinks. What's weird is oh, you know what? Those are sound effects coming from mine. It sounded like a train. And I'm thinking like, well, there are no other trains moving out there. At least there shouldn't be. Oh, Merry Christmas to you. Absolutely. Hope you get what you asked for Christmas. I asked for a real locomotive again. I don't think that's going to happen. Hasn't yet. But, oh well, I'll get something. And it'll be better than that dead cat I got last year. And again, I shouldn't have asked for it. I forgot we're leaving, yeah. At some point, I'll get it through my head that pulling out of here is a slight uphill grade. It's going to require a little more muscle. I keep forgetting. I wonder if I should pull the sander. No. I'm also an Australian. Double whammy. No. That's awesome, man. Never been to Australia. My nephew went to Australia a couple years back. He loved it. Only good things to say, so sounds like you all got something to be proud of over there. Boy, we're moving. I mean, we're not really. In the big scheme of things, no. Casper asks, does your Santa wear shorts and sunglasses? Josh says no. I'm going to quote Dazed and Confused and say, it'd be a lot cooler if you did. I mean, Alright, we should, with that hill, we should be able to coast. In a way, I built this kind of like a hump yard. And you may not know what a hump yard is, and that's okay. Just means you have elevation on both sides, so like technically, you could just like uncouple a car, set the track, set the switches behind it. And as soon as you uncouple it, gravity's going to just pull it down. It can be kind of handy. For building trains or taking trains apart or whatever. Okay, I think we're clear. I don't recall which track I'm putting this on. Don't think I'm trying to do that. Okay, that's the right way. Track 1 is occupied. Track 2 has Breckenridge sitting on it. It was about states' rights, Breckenridge screams. It was heritage, not hate. Mass Robert was a nobleman. Is this right? Is this the right one? It is. Alright. Hopefully the train's not too long for that, because if it is, that's not a nightmare. It just kind of sucks that I'd have to move the other trains. On one of these tracks, I think I've only got two or three cars parked. I should have put those on the shortest track. I think if we just let the brake loose, gravity will do its thing. He's naked? He's naked? Is that what you're trying to say? Santa's naked. Santa in his natural form, eh? Have you heard of the Mary Valley Rattler? It's a small railroad here, run by steam. No, I'll have to YouTube that. I've been watching a lot of train content lately. It's occupied my train of thought. Ouch. Hot. So yeah, I would certainly check that out. It's called the Mary Valley Rattler. So is it kind of like a Christmas themed thing? Oh, why do I have it in... Hold on now. Hold on now. Okay. Alright, you should be good. I am afraid this train might be too long. Maybe not. Maybe not. This might work. Unless I overshoot it. Stop the train! Yeah, it's not too long, even though I gotta get that thing off of that other track. Cool. Alright. Stop. Bring it down to like 10% power. Nope, we don't want to uncouple that. And we'll pull the pin on the car. Yep. And yeah, brakes. Nice, okay. Let's just do the brakes on the brake van, since it's probably the most efficient. And once I get out of the quote-unquote once I quote-unquote get out of the 1870s, you start getting the cabooses with like what do you call that, cupola, or you start getting the fancy cabooses, not these Sodor style British Railways. I know, hey, we had these in the States, obviously, but I think much more like what you imagine when you think caboose in the States is definitely got the little thing up there. Anyhow, what am I talking about? Let's go. I think we parked this thing. Which would mean I pull out here and everything should be set for me to go back up there. Yeah, good. It's just a little, no, it's just a little railroad. That would take 1 hour to ride it to the end. Oh, I see. Okay. That's pretty cool, though. We have a couple short lines. I'm from Ohio in the States, and we have a few around here. Mainly in southern Ohio that'll run steam locomotives and whatnot. In fact, I was a Civil War reenactor for a number of years, and one of our reenactments, a very small one, was centered around a steam train down in southern Ohio, and we would kind of take turns, whether the Federals were on the train and the Confederates attacked it, or vice versa. That was kind of the setup. It was interesting. And maybe a cool way for people to watch a reenactment. They get to get on the train. Had a little like vignette on the train in terms of like spies and stuff that were caught. So while you're on the ride, soldiers approach a passenger and put them into custody or whatever. It's interesting. There's also narrow gauge. Right on. Yeah, we that's what this game is. It's narrow gauge engines. And I don't. Certainly, the States, certainly standard gauge is, well, the standard, but I feel like out west there's a lot of narrow gauge just because of the mountains and the tighter turns and stuff. It makes more sense to run narrow gauge. It's cheaper. Still get some iconic engines and whatnot, locomotives on the narrow gauge lines. No, I was not. No. When I say take turns, I mean like Either the treacherous rebels would be on the train, and we would ambush the train and try to stop it. Try to stop it. We conduct it, stop it. You know? But or vice versa. We would be on the train, the Confederates would attack it, and then the train would stop, and whoever was on it would get off, and then you'd have to get a skirmish or whatever. No, I'm not. I was against those people in the 90s. When I was young, I figured out, nah, I don't believe them. I don't hate them, because what's the thing? It's certainly history. But, it's pretty clear cut. They're on the wrong side of history. The wrong side of, very fundamental things. With their peculiar institutions. Yeah, like a lot of stuff in politics, right? And it's just like the southern states back the wrong horse. They bad agenda. Didn't age well. Slavery long after a lot of the Western world had realized or come to grips with the fact that that was uh, immoral. But doing reenacting, like I certainly rubbed shoulders with a lot of people that portrayed Southerners in the reenactments that certainly had they were apologists for the Confederates. And by apologists, I certainly do not mean we're sorry we did that. I just mean like the whole no, it wasn't hate, it was heritage. It was our lifestyle. Or it wasn't even about that. It was about states' rights, tariffs. And you know what? They could tell me all that stuff. They could probably tell me worse, and I don't know the best of them. It takes a lot. It should take a lot. They're right to spin it whichever way they want. Not far enough? Oh no, that was perfect, wasn't it? Oh, nice. Well, that's my number one engine. This is shed number one. Otto, I can't wait till KCD 2. Oh, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 comes out. Oh yeah, that's a Kingdom Come Deliverance was a great game. And yeah, my only thing with that is I never finished it, but it was an excellent game. We want to turn all the way around. You don't want to. You want at the back end, right? Something proper. I'm gonna be an evil Lord. I'm gonna be evil Lord Henry. See, I think when I did play, I definitely wasn't evil. Man, I don't know. I did steal. I was kind of a thief. Because you kind of had to get started on a decent foot, right? That first town that you came across after your village burned down. Are you on Lake Valley? Yeah, this is Lake Valley. I changed where some of the industries were just because once I realized you could build little villages and cities and stuff, I had a tendency to want to put some of the industries in a city because honestly, some of the industries would be in a city. You know what I mean? Like the meat packing plant and the ironworks. I just thought like, yeah, it could be out in the middle of nowhere, but I much sooner see it like in a town, in a city. That really makes more sense. That um, after all, you had some of those industry towns. What am I doing? You had some of those industry towns, and certainly towns seem to pop up around industry. So I just couldn't see putting it 5 miles down the track or whatever. All right. Oh, okay. Dibs on being dibs on being an oppressed train track builder. So much I could say. So much I could say. Yes, you got it, man. Although, in a way, I built these tracks and I did feel a little oppressed. Although I was also the oppressor. It was an internal struggle. Draco says, "You never finished it, King of Cumberlands. I don't even know you anymore." I'm sure it was because there was some other game. I'm sure. Yeah, I know all the excuses. All the excuses don't matter, do they? I'm sure I had another game that I was playing at the time and probably took precedence. Hell, it was probably a multiplayer game. You know what I mean? Like I was probably playing Sea of Thieves, Path of Titans, or something. Or I was playing with buddies, and so it's hard to fit in a single player game. Now, for the last year, I've played with buddies maybe a handful of times. That's by my own irrational decisions, but so I played a lot of, well, not necessarily single player games, but I played alone a lot this year. Is what I'm trying to say. Um, However, I did not play Kingdom Come Deliverance this year. I guess all I'm saying is if I had, I would have won it. No, wait. I think I want its default to be there. This track. But, you know, even playing what I did, I think I got about to the monastery or whatever. It started getting very religious, and I, I'm religious, so that's not what did it. But, in fact, I was kind of like, cool. Like, there's a game actually, like, not necessarily endorsing it, but just being honest about it, just showing it. I liked that. But yeah, I was playing something else at the time. I'm sure I was. Doesn't detract from the fact that that was an excellent game. I got that much. I knew that. Alright, I know it's not nighttime, but I'm going to take a quick bathroom break. It's already been 2.5 hours. I only like to go like 3 hours. So while I step away, I'll decide, am I going to do another run, or am I just going to shoot the breeze for a couple minutes and shut her down? I will decide shortly, and hey, if you got to go in the meantime, be well. Thanks for coming. Otherwise, I'll talk to you again here in a moment. Uh-oh, I got a retracted message. What did it say? Okay. Yeah. How much money did we earn? I think Mead is up here, which is another one of my trains. There she is. This is my city. This is Ottoville, I guess, right? We're losing light, but there it is. And I think I saw where the developer said there's going to be an update with lanterns, so when night falls, I can light up this. I call it a city. In reality, it's much smaller than a city would be, but that's the biggest one I built on the map. And I think that's another thing I appreciate about this game. Initially, I was kind of horrified that when I loaded in, it was like, oh, there are no tracks. You're laying the tracks. Because, from what I understand, on PC, you have the option when you start a map, there may be tracks already there. We didn't get that option. I was disappointed by it at first, but then as time went on, I was like, you know what? I'm having fun building these towns and stuff, and trying to figure out the logistics of the rails going through the towns. And so, truly, what I saw as a kind of a hurdle ended up being something that I legitimately enjoyed. Anyhow, Mead here is going to do a night run. We'll go up and get some iron ore and bring it back. I should get this thing fired up though. Oh, Mead is the one where I have trouble opening the firebox door. And so, like, I almost can't afford to do it while in motion. The reason is it's so close to the coupler, and it's the same buttons, that you'll go to add fire, and then all of a sudden, your locomotive is going away from you, and you're slowing down, and it's like, oh no, time to restart. Because usually that's my answer, rather than trying to reattach it and stuff. I'm like, I'll just load it back in. Last save. But yeah, that's just dangerously close to the coupler. I don't like that. That's bad design. That's my buddy Strontium used to say that. That's just good game design right there. I have a brown snake. Let me start over. I have a brown snake on my lawn. And if you didn't know, brown snakes are the most poisonous snake in Australia. Oh no. Ugh. Brown snake sounds bad. That's what Casper basically articulated my thoughts there. I thought you were talking about poop. No, like you have a brown snake on your lawn. I get it, like a legitimate snake, but I could see me going on a walk with my son and being like, "Look, son, a brown snake," and it's really just a turd. In fact, I'm going to do that. Alright, she's probably heated up, at least enough to start going. Let's check a couple of immediate switches. Once we get further down the line, I don't think the switches really matter. Because this is, yeah, that's all good. There's one more switch around the bend down here. That if it's not clicked, all Mead's going to do is turn around and go back into the city. And yes, she is switched. I love how the lantern still, like, swings around while I'm in the air. It's like nunchaku. Is it num or none? Nunchaku. Good old me. This is the strongest one I've got. It's a Mosca. 1875, I think. Maybe 73. Let's check. It's got good tractive power, which made it ideal for heading up to the mine. Again, my only problem with it is the firebox door. It was expensive in terms of the 1870s locomotives. Runs on wood, which is right up my alley. 1873, okay. Let's see if we're good to go. Yeah, we're sure are. Do we have sand? It's not raining, but sometimes when it's raining, the sun struggles up this hill, this mountain. We are climbing the mountain. Shit, it doesn't have any sand. Well, let's just hope it doesn't start raining on the way up. On the way back, no problem. Right? Gravity should be helping us there. I'll remind myself of it. Now this train, I think, is more traditional in that, like, you run it, so you're surfing. You know what I mean? Your back's to the side here. Look forward, but everything's right here in terms of like the reverser, the brake, and the regulators. Regulator, let's get going. I didn't check the brakes yet. 0. None of these little brakes should be active. I never use them. 0. Now normally you do this before. And I have climbed this mountain before with one of these having the brakes on. And I was just so baffled by why is she struggling so bad. Once I got up to the mine, I realized the brake car had its brakes on. Because you start thinking like, okay, she can't carry this many cars up there. But I thought, no, the Mazda should be able to. Let's see. What do you do in this situation of a brown snake? Never mind, my dog hasn't eaten yet. Now, what if the dog is dead? It's dead? The snake. Oh, okay. The secondary road was dead. Next, I thought you were going to say, okay, now my dog's dead, and my sister's going to go take care of it. Oh, no, she's dead. And get 100%. You can do it. I open this door. Right in the face. We will need to go at 100% at some point. Not bad. I did build a house or two down there, but can't see them at night. I know there's a railroad crossing coming. Headphones up. I don't know. Yeah, maybe he might have not passed the crossing yet. Yeah. Okay, break close to the back. Yep. See, the 2 red lights are even just not on the side. As long as you get an indication that it's there, good. Moving. So I got to keep in mind, we don't have the same. Like, there's no heart. You can't make it feel. And it is raining. Its name is Google. He's a hip. The eagles are the same. Zero, 100% regulated. Oh, no! Yay! I know, I could have just gone. Oh, that's good. And she made it up without the sound. That's great. And if you're talking to me, call me Lila. Why? Oh God. God, you gotta get this bitch. She's ahead of us. Oh shoot. That's why. Now we gotta slow down. More. Less. Fancy wheels, right? Stop. Guess I can kill the accelerator. It's not regulated. Regulators? Oh wow. Oh no. How did that happen? That's not good. Huh. Okay. Well, Interesting. Usually I would reload. I think I should. Because, yeah, I don't even know what happened there. But we definitely got detached. I think the problem is, especially with this train, needs the strongest locomotive. He's carrying some very heavy cars, except those first four. And I don't know if that's smart. In other words, you got the heavy ass locomotive, heavy ass tender, and then you have four relatively like half size, weak cars that are light. And then you've got three or four of the heaviest cars in the game, I think, or damn near, even empty. Okay, so put me back at that spot, or did it? No, but close to it, I think. No, I haven't even done the horseshoe bend yet. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what exactly calls that, though. I just know the train's still in one piece at this point. Just keep a closer eye on it. Actually, while we're stopped, there's some wood out there. I think I'm going to load up. I'm going to collect this, but I don't think I'm going to reload this stream. I think I'm going to close out the stream because it's a big enough video. Our biggest challenge we'll see if we can get this train up there without losing. Well, here to illustrate what I mean, as you can see, these are more like mining cars, these side dump cars, fairly light. And then you got hopper cars, which are heavy as hell, even without control. And I'm just kind of thinking maybe that's a bad mix. Maybe I should get those light cars out of it. It's funny when it derailed. I guess that's how little cars do. Let me see the red light, please. This is a prime example of like one of those. I was saying earlier that you might think you could run without a brake car and it's fine, but just looking back there and seeing the red light, that's, other than the braking power of it, that's the big thing. It's a peace of mind, knowing that your train is still together. Of course, they don't really use cabooses anymore. I mean, not for their original purpose. Yeah, big thing about the cabooses, not only the aspect that they're great cars, and that makes a lot of sense. They're built kind of heavy, and you want your brakes at the rear. Rear and front is fine, but but also to be able to flag anything behind you. You know, for instance, if something went wrong with your locomotive and it stopped, of course back then, you know, you don't have radios and stuff like that. Part of your crew in the back would run backwards down the track with flags to warn an oncoming train that, like, hey, there's a train stalled, train stationary. You know, like you send flaggers back a mile and forward a mile or whatever, and they've got the situation taken care of. I remember correctly, like, you do have to go ahead with that switch. When it's like, you can't really drop the locomotive. You need all the power you got. Alright, gonna fly. Oh, actually, we still got a while. So let's go flip the switch, and hopefully the train doesn't come apart while we're not on it. I do gotta say, is like, I was worried that would be a thing. Like, if you leave the train and go flying around and leave it to its own devices, that it will automatically, like, derail or something just because it's not close to where things are rendering. But it doesn't seem to be the case. So much so that you can almost run trains, and except for the fact that you need to stop them, they're fine. The exception being, like, if they hit a steep grade, then of course you would want to be aboard to increase power or whatever. But on relatively flat track, you could do that. You could run multiple trains and just kind of like either teleport or fly in between them to try to manage two at once. And then with the multiplayer aspect, I guess you could have separate trains running at that. I don't know which would be more entertaining. I almost think having multiple players on one train would be kind of more. Certainly make the loading and all that stuff, loading and unloading and all that stuff quicker. There's the red lights. Alright, good. But this is where we derailed, so let's kill that. Add some brake. Something just happened. Yep. Okay. So our problem is right here. I mean, are those rolling backwards? Yeah. So it didn't really detach back there. It detached. Probably here. It's probably these trees. Okay. Well, that's frustrating. Tell you what I do. I think I leave it there. I'll load back in just to chop those trees. Although maybe, I don't know, I feel like I should get that train up to, at least get it up to the mine. What's weird though is I've gone up there before, maybe not with that configuration of cars. Maybe that's it. Just with those cars, they tend to be clipping that, but now my point is that I've made that run a few times, and that curve has not been a problem prior. Bye, Josh, by the way. Take care. Or YY. Thanks for stopping by. Alright, are we back there again? Yep. I feel like it's got to be at 100 to get past the horseshoe pole. I'm going to go chop those trees and flip that switch and hope for the best. You can also teleport to telegraph stations that you can place around. I don't know what breaks immersion more, me flying or teleporting. All right. Pretty liberal with our free decimation. In fact, let's get rid of this too, just in case. After all, I still don't know exactly what's causing it, but that was a double kill. Okay. I might do it. Huh. Where's our train? There it is. Okay. Is it all together? Like, why didn't that crew kill us? I don't know. Maybe it's just the fact that we're having trouble. It's a pretty substantial curve. And it could be that. It could honestly be, it could be I'm taking that curve too quickly. But it's tricky because it's on slope. And you're coming off of this climb, or climbing the mountains. In all probability, most of the locomotives are going to be going full steam at this moment. Just good. And it's like as soon as you come off that curve, you expect to slow down the ground. Then there's that curve. So I don't know. We'll see. Correcting the Montezuma class, it can't do this way. I tried it. Doesn't do it. Sounds like I'm hating on the Montezuma. No, I like it. But it's got its purpose, you know. I think that's what it is. Okay. So let's see what happens here. Oh, I saw that shift with this car. No, I don't think it is the curvature. I think it was the trees. Right? Clearly. I still think configuration isn't helping. Like the fact that I have these lighter, weaker cars tucked in between some heavy stuff, but we made it. We made it, and I think that's where I'm going to leave her. On a high note, at least. You know, because we're high up in the mountains. It's, belongs with the other jokes. Anyhow, let's get this thing fully stopped. She'll just be parked up here until I want to mix some oil. Got the brakes on here. Let's hit the brakes in the brake van. The caboose. Huh, does it have brakes on both sides? That would make sense. It should. It doesn't. I just have it attached backward. Alright. Now that bitch ain't going nowhere. Well, cool. That is what I've been doing, buddies. I've been railroading, working on the railroad all the livelong day. Not sure when I'll stream next. It'll, who knows? Like when I try to project it, it doesn't happen. But so far, it's been like, once a month or something like that. And so I appreciate the retention my friends have shown me throughout all that. So I don't know if it'll be a month or a week or a day until my next stream, but whenever it is, I hope to see you there, and whatever time elapses in between, I hope that time treats you well, especially with Christmas coming. Everybody has a swell Christmas, even if you don't believe in it. It's a federal holiday, so have a swell federal holiday. I want to thank everybody that stopped by. Mr. Casper, I appreciate you as always. Hope to talk to you soon, my friend. Of course, the comedy stylings of Mr. Josh Roberts. Water Jaco, thank you for being here. Zero Core, Al Hoon, Long Hauler, Name, Mr. Raging Badger, of course, Marty, Albino Tailgater, Hawk. There's quite a few of you spoke up today. I am blessed. I appreciate you. But even if you didn't speak up and you just lurked, I appreciate that as well. Wishing you the best. This is automatic. If you like this kind of stuff, like this kind of stuff, and if you subscribe to this sort of shit, you can do that too. Bye-bye. Talk to you soon.